Good evening and a warm welcome to Health Digest with me, Dr. Mercy Korir, on this third day of March 2018, a day when the world marks the World Hearing Day. And the theme this year is Hearing the Future. It is estimated that 10% of the Kenyan population has some degree of hearing impairment, and out of this, half have profound hearing disability. This episode of Health Digest, we've done it differently, and we bring you the story from location. We went to Gertrude's Children's Hospital in Muthaiga, and we had a sit-down with Dr. Zachary Wanjohi, who is a consultant audiologist, and we also had a sit-down with Margaret Wabomba, who is a mother whose daughter, Marion Chebet, 8 years old, has a hearing disability and has been fitted with hearing aids. And we found out from Margaret, if at all she had any suspicions, or if anyone had any suspicions or knew whether Chebet had any hearing disability. And that's where we'll start this show this evening. Did anyone know that Marion could be having a hearing problem?
Yes. The first school I took her, that is Brookfield, the teacher complained. Then I took it lightly. I kept on saying, oh, they are lying for my daughter. They don't want to assist my child. After baby class, I took her to another school, St. Francis in Dandora. Then the same class teacher asked me to go to her school. I went. I didn't go. I took it also lightly. Then I transferred her again to another school, that is Hillpick. The class teacher insisted to see me. I just went, and she told me Marion has a problem of hearing.
Did you at any point suspect that Marion could be having a hearing problem as a parent?
The first person who told me was my sister-in-law, because she was being called when she's just near, she could not hear. When she's playing, when you call her, she was not able to hear anything, not unless you touch her. So from that time, I was really very annoyed, because I thought maybe they are lying to my child. Until when I brought her here for medical checkup.
When the teacher called you to bring up this issue that Marion could be having a hearing problem, what was going through your mind at that time?
I was thinking maybe they don't want to see my child, because when she was born, she had so many complications. So, but I asked the doctor, didn't tell me anything bad with her. She told me the child is okay, but she had the jaundice. So from that time, I've been thinking of how people think of my child. I thought maybe they didn't want my child to be with their children, play together.
When you were told that Marion has a hearing problem, did you know of any possible solutions to help her out?
My mom, when I asked my mom, she told me we have traditional medicine, of which I was not very sure of. Because she told me a long time ago they have been using it and it has been working. So I was so negative. Then she insisted, but I had just to pick some to show that I used, but knowing very well that there will be another alternative for me to go for it.
That option of traditional herbal medicine is one that many parents opt for, especially if they have limited knowledge on hearing. I talked to Dr. Zachary Wanjohi, a consultant audiologist, a specialist in hearing, to explain some of the basics on hearing. Do parents pick hearing problems in their children early, according to what you've seen in the Kenyan parent?
It's very surprising. They're coming in late. And the reasons they will give is that they thought the child will pick up, will start talking. And that will be at the age of 3, 4, 5 years. In fact, the average child who comes up is 5 years old, and that's too late. We'd like them to be at least earlier than that, before the age of 1 year.
So what is the appropriate time because there are developmental milestones that children go through. So what would be the best time for any parent who suspects that their child has a hearing problem? What would be the appropriate and the best time for them to bring this child for care?
Before the age of 1 year, that's a very, very appropriate time because the brain is still developing, and the intervention carried on before 1 year has been known to have very good outcomes. So we'd like to see them come before age 1. But we find a lot of problems in between. Either parents are suspicious, other parents are saying it's going to be okay. Sometimes it's the health personnel who say that children don't develop the same. So you wait for 2-3 years, the child will start speaking. And by the time they come to us, they are 5 years, 4 or 5 years. So it's really quite a problem. And that's the majority of children who present in Kenya, which is a very late stage for intervention.
So yeah. What are some of these things that parents or guardians of children should be looking out for that could be possible pointers that their child has a hearing problem?
In the very early stages, when children are about 6 months to 8 months, they are babbling. They make sounds like ba, 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 ba. When they're doing those sounds, they'll continue because they're hearing themselves, and they increase the vocal play. They want to repeat them over time. So you find a child is increasing on that. When they have a hearing problem after 6 months, they're repeating those sounds, but they stop. By the age of 1 year, they stop because they can't hear themselves. Now, that's an appropriate time to say, my child stops babbling. I would like to get a test done on my child. But many times when they go to professionals who don't understand, they say, oh, he's going to start speaking again. So that's the age you like to see them. Now, when they get to the age of 2 years, then they don't follow the milestones for development. At 2 years, they should be making 2-word sentences, like nipe maziwa. So when the child can't even say nipe at 2 years, you should be concerned. And you should be saying, like, I think the speech is delaying. By 3 years, they would be making a 3-word sentence, and they could say something like, Mama nataka chai. So when they're not making that, that tells you there's a problem. So that's the early stages that would advise mothers or parents to look for so that they can say, my child has a problem. The other children who look like they are difficult, when the mother sends them, give me a cup, they don't give a cup. They look at the mother, they turn away. But the mother thinks the child is stubborn. But he's not stubborn. The fact is this child didn't understand what the mother said. And at times you hear sounds and turn at the back or turn the wrong side. These are signals that there could be a problem. So it's very important for parents to be aware that these things, any difficult child may be having a hearing problem, or any child who turns to any side anytime or looks confused may be having a hearing problem, and they need to look for help early enough.
Okay. So what are the possible causes of hearing deficiency or hearing problems in children?
We'll start with the very common ones. Very common ones. Every child before the age of 5 years, at least 90% of the children before they reach 5 will have had one ear infection. So if 90% will have an ear infection, some ear infections persist. And when they persist, the child has fluid in the ear or has pus coming out, and then it may develop a hearing loss, unless treated very early by the doctor. If they're not treated, then they're going to have a hearing loss. So that's the commonest cause. Other causes could be inborn, a family history of a hearing loss. So you get somebody genetically develops a hearing loss from that. Other causes during labor when the child is being born. Either the child is so underweight, or the child was given oxygen at birth, or the child had yellowness of the eyes, which we call jaundice. So, or the child had injuries during birth. Now, the birth period, that particular period is so significant for every child that if they are born with the defects or with oxygen was given at that time, or they were admitted into intensive care unit, you can tell they are at high risk for that. There are many other causes like meningitis, infections like meningitis. They do cause hearing problems. Measles as well. You get children with measles, they may develop hearing loss. And malaria as well. And there are
some of the medications actually used for treatment of some of these infections.
And I might point out quinine is one of them,
yes,
injection quinine. Any child who's had an injection quinine should be followed up as a high-risk case. And other drugs that are given for pneumonia, and you're finding more of that increasingly on. So we need to look, those children need to be followed up as well. There are injuries that may happen to the ear. Either the child put a pencil in and injured the eardrum, or there could be accidents, that a child was on a motorcycle and they had an accident without a helmet. So there are all injuries could be factors as well. But there are also unknown causes that we don't know the causes. This is the human ear, as you can see. This is the outer part of the ear, and this is the eardrum, where the eardrum is. And this is what we call the middle ear, which connects with the throat through this tube. So when you yawn, and you feel a sound, it's something in your ear pop up. It's because the sounds are passing right from your throat onto the ear is passing through there, and it pushes your eardrum, and you can feel some sensation. When this is blocked, that doesn't happen. And with children, problems begin there. Infections from the throat will pass through here and cause a problem right there in the middle part of the ear. Then we have the other part we call the inner ear, and you can see this part here. There's nail-shaped, it's a cochlea, what we call the organ of hearing. And this is the organ of balance. There's more, these rounded, semi-rounded circles.
From that note, we take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll engage Dr. Zachary Wanjo. He will take us through the process of assessing hearing loss in children. So stay tuned.
This is KTN News.